What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK?
I'm doing amazing, Chris. How about yourself?
Hey, everything's good. Welcome to spring. It's finally here. No
Yeah.
more winter. Man, good vibes are only to come, and I know, a lot more game releases are coming. A lot of big buzz has been happening, especially surrounding the GDC and the Navita GTC conferences going on right now with amazing new tech, industry news, and trust me, HenricK and I, we're going to be discussing that and a whole lot more. But before we even begin, we definitely want to let you guys know, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe so you guys never miss out on all the cool, groovy content, and let them know what's good, HenricK.
Yeah, you can go find my content if you scan that QR code right over there, and you'll see all the content that I'm cooking up as well.
Come on, you know the drill. That's right. And we want to hear from you, the gamers, because this is a live show after all. So wherever you're tuning in from YouTube, X, or Twitch, join the chat. You will be featured live on air, just like how this beautiful lower third showed up on screen. We want to hear from you, gamers. So let's go ahead and get it, because we always like to start off the show with a bang and look up all the viral content that is circulating all across the globe. And Dr. Phil wants his own Fortnite skin, comparing himself to Eminem and claiming he moves like a cat, but players are worried they'll need therapy if they receive the tough love from the doctor himself. So as I get ready to bring up this clip right here, what's that clip again? Catch me outside. How about that?
Hey, Fortnite creators, what do I got to do to get my own character? I mean, come on. Eminem's got 3. I got what? 0? I move like a cat. Well, it's Garfield, but it's a cat. I need my own character. Come on.
Initial thoughts: humble yourself, Dr. Phil. You
What's
have
up with-
nothing to do with Fortnite.
But there's a lot of celebrities that have been coming out that have nothing to do with Fortnite or just video games in general. Like, we've highlighted not once but twice Stephen A. Smith, for example, who's been calling out.
Yeah,
What's up with the craze?
I mean, comparing him to Eminem's notoriety, that's different level, right?
Yeah,
there.
well, you're absolutely right on the extent that Eminem has 3 different skins and they weren't bundled together as one package, right? You had to buy 3 different individual purchases. Insane. Kudos to that man himself. Some shady, but we got comments here. The first one says, I'd buy a Dr. Phil skin. I guess that's the real question, HenricK. Would you buy one if there was an actual Fortnite skin for Dr. Phil?
Maybe if it was that one, the meme of him, with big googly eyes, maybe then I'd buy it.
Oh, okay. That's actually kind of creative. I haven't heard of that one as of yet. I think I would buy him. I think so. Nah, I'm not a fan of buying characters. Hey, look at Ninjas showing some love for Dr. Phil. Make it shake, Doc, with some fire emoji. And Dr. Phil responded, what's my glider? That's a good question. What would be the glider? Would it be an actual pill, or is that like something Dr. Mario would rock? Or...
Maybe it'd be the Cash Me Outside girl.
Riding along with that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, just...
And Twitch jumping in, going, petition for Dr. Garfield skin. Ooh, okay. So people are actually kind of getting creative. And, I thought we actually had a comment. Nah, man, we're not going to promote. We're not going to do none of that kind of stuff that you guys are offering inside of the chat. It's a bot that finessed us just now. But, hey, let's continue with the show, because the launch of the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection has been a hit with a Death Star reactor malfunction? What the hell is going on? We were so excited for this 2-decade-old game, but it's been hit with server issues and bugs causing more chaos than a cantina brawl. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just look at some of the highlights being shared all over X and Reddit and all other kinds of places you call the World Wide Web. Let's go ahead and take a look.
You know, somehow this re-release, remaster, whatever you want to call it, makes the EA Battlefront games look actually like masterpieces.
I love how you said, call it whatever you want to call it. It's rubbish. It's garbage. I mean, this is something that's been celebrated for so long. And why did the PSP version of this classic edition do a lot better justice than what we're receiving right now? But I guess it can't be as bad as Dragon's Dogma 2 on the Steam Deck. I don't know if you heard about that. Can't run more than 10 frames per second. What's going on?
I might get optimized, but I wouldn't trust it to run amazing, considering the game probably is just too expansive.
I agree, but you know what? I was quite surprised reading a lot of the comments surrounding, you know, the backlash towards Star Wars, you know, Classic Edition for Battlefront, because dumpster fire for who? The solo parts of the game are the main experiences, laughing out loud. That's the whole reason a lot of people are buying it. Really?
Did this person not see that the game's size is like 60 gigs?
Yeah.
This is for an old game, by the way.
Right.
What is that?
But they were also in a lot of the promotions highlighting that the game would support 64-player matches. So, yeah, I think it was leveraged off the multiplayer experience. Second comment we got here is, it will always be a single-player game to me. Anyway, I agree with you. PS2 era, you know, you were lucky enough to grow up with LAN, you know, but if you didn't, you stayed humble with the single-player experience. And last, $35 for 2 re-releases ain't bad. Each of them would have been like $16 normally. Is that a fair assessment, even though it has been slammed? And some people are starting to argue that even with the new patch that just recently dropped, it's gotten a little bit better. But still, why can't we just drop something even new or remastered, remade, whatever we want to call it, right? As your vernacular, HenricK.
Yeah, I mean, they could have easily taken the game as it was, and I think it's already still on Steam, and just said, hey, we're celebrating an anniversary. Here, go grab that original game. It's on sale now.
But, you know, there was a lot of gamers that were super excited, like the last 6 months, talking about Knights of the Old Republic remake. Well, I hate to break it to you, this is the same studio company that's working on that same game. So if they can't nail this down, not looking good at all. But we always like very funny viral moments in video games, and some things in video games are things that you would never imagine would be a thing, like a gamer pulling off a virtual heist mid-game of a poker match. And so it's like a crime spree that's just pixels away from truly being smoking.
The flop.
See, those are the kind of VR experiences that I'd like to see.
Yeah, I love it. I think this is just genius. Maybe he's just immersing himself to a whole new level that we're missing out on, even though I don't vape. What am I condoning? But anyways, let's read the comments. Vaping in VR is a clear sign you need help. Laughing my ass off. That's why I think it's hilarious. It's like, I've seen videos where people bring a water gun or, you know, I just think it's hilarious that you can even just dress up and come to a poker match in the first place. He like, you want smoke? I'll show you smoke. And ha ha ha. Oh, wait. Oh, I forgot to upload the last comment. Hey, it's all good, though, because we kind of give you a little bit of a sneak peek of what the next topic that we're going to be discussing, because the North American finals of Apex Legends got hacked mid-game, giving esports athletes aimbots and wall hacks. Respawn and EA have postponed the event due to security concerns with player accounts and overall safety of the game. And if you haven't seen the clip, we're going to go ahead and roll that clip now.
What?
Like, bullet here, on my ping. I knocked him there.
Yep.
Wait, what the fuck?
Don't worry about it,
I'm getting hacked. But
I know, sure. Can you play the game?
Bro, I'm getting hacked.
I know, but can you play?
Yeah, but it's cheating. The fuck?
I know, sure. I know. What?
Like, what?
No, but is it fucking up your game?
Yes, I can see everyone. Like,
absolutely wild that that's even possible to happen in the first place.
Yeah, it's so true. But, as we start to remove ourselves away from paper money, to the digital currency, as some people like to wishfully think, or at least when I show up to crypto.com arena
crypto?
or the Intuit Dome that's about to be happening real soon in Southern California where they don't want paper money. This is kind of like, I see these kind of examples and then I start thinking about, finances and the rest of the world and all that other kind of stuff, piracy and so much more. Just look at this. If anybody's got any kind of support with the Apple Wallet and stuff, I don't know. I always get the heebie-jeebies over that. I'm not quite there yet. But let's go ahead and read the comments because you'd be quite surprised. First person wrote, this game is so shit, I can't believe people still play it. It literally hasn't changed a bit since the launch, which is like, okay, he's coming in hot. Second one we got here is, how do you give players hacks during a monitored tournament match? While last, his cheats were shown. No one can force your PC to download and install cheats and turn them on mid-game. Cheats were always there, and then go, yeah, you can, laughing out loud. People used to do it on Call of Duty all of the time. And clearly EA and Respawn have major concerns about this because they had major backlash. They had to stop it because of competition integrity. But then you also got people go online like popular Twitch and Kick streamers like XQC and Aiden Ross, for example, that are getting calls in the middle of the night to remove your Electronic Arts app completely from your PC as if you're going to get potentially hacked on your own. Pretty wild stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's not clear what's going on exactly just yet, and we're probably not going to get answers considering it wouldn't be smart for them to reveal what they know and what they don't know, because then the hackers know what they don't know yet. So, yeah, I mean, for the moment, maybe just don't play an EA game, especially not Apex Legends. Until they figure this out.
Yeah, that's what some people are calling for. So if you have those kind of concerns and you feel like, you have money in cryptocurrency, like some of these people that you see on viral clips going, oh my gosh, if you're investing in that kind of stuff, you need to get off now. I don't know how that all links together. I'm not the expert. I'm just seeing the clips. But hey, let's move on because this isn't a crypto show. This is a video game talk show after all. So we're super excited. We're ready to rock and roll. So you guys know the drill. You ready to talk some gaming news, industry talk, and so much more? I know HenricK, the Wreck, and I, we're ready to rock and roll. So you ready to get this show on the roll?
It's time to rage, baby.
Come on now. Woo!
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is Last Epoch. Last Epoch is a game that finally had its 1.0 release in February and has been gaining a lot of attention from Diablo and Path of Exile fans alike. So let's dive into what the action RPG is all about by first looking at the gameplay. The gameplay of Last Epoch is immediately familiar to those who have played Diablo or Path of Exile. One of the biggest differences is the complexity. Last Epoch stands in between the more casual nature of Diablo and the intense complexity of Path of Exile. There are currently 5 classes to choose from: Mage, Rogue, Primalist, Acolyte, or Sentinel. Between these classes, there are many different abilities that you'll acquire alongside passive upgrades. Each class ability has its own skill tree, with modifiers like, for example, changing Fireball into a flamethrower or splitting into multiple fireballs. As a result, the game has plenty to delve into while you go through the story campaign, as well as grind out gear upgrades in the endgame content. Speaking of the story, let's go over that. The story of Last Epoch can get a little confusing. Time travel is involved in the campaign, taking inspiration from the classic game Chrono Trigger. To get you up to speed without spoiling anything, there were once only 2 entities, Oribus and Etera. Etera created the world that humans live in, and even at one point lived among them. In the present day, she is no longer there, but she has left her faction of the Keepers to uphold her values. The gods, separate beings from Oribus and Etera, exist in this world as well. well, and the game starts off with the god Rye launching a war against Eterra. Your playable character gets involved with the Keepers, and from there the story unfolds. What will be the fate of Eterra? But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
All right, it's time to answer the burning question. Does this game not feel like what Diablo 4 should have been? What are your thoughts, Chris?
Starting off hot like that. Well, let's put it this way. Last Epoch doesn't just enter the ring with, brass knuckles when it came in for the fight against Diablo, and let's say also Path of Exile. It's more like channeling your inner Wolverine, ready to slice through the competition. I think we got a new action RPG to be excited about.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, this game, it has been in the works for a while. The game initially had a release back in 2019, so it's been in early access for quite a while. But what's really nice to see is that now that the 1.0 version has been out and so many people have been praising it, a lot of reasons why they've been praising it is because, well, one, Diablo 4 has really not held its player base very well.
Well,
and
it's open and secure with the Xbox Game Pass.
True. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, right.
But secondly,
first Activision Blizzard game, by the way, to be on the Xbox Game Pass. But go on, Henry.
But secondly, this game, when it was in early access, got a lot of feedback, a lot of negative feedback, actually, from the people who were excited about playing this game. And they took all that feedback and said, you know what? You're right. Let's fix this. They actually listened to the people who wanted to play the game, and they fixed pretty much everything. And it's not a perfect game, but especially when you come
what
from
makes the
Diablo
game not
4,
perfect? What makes the game not perfect for you, HenricK?
I'd say its weakest point for sure is the story, because it's not as memorable as a story like Diablo 2. Not to say Diablo 4's story was really memorable either, but
fair, yeah.
Classic line from Diablo 2, stay a while and listen.
No, I
don't
think
really
that's
get anything like that.
No, I think that's a good point, HenricK, because I feel like the story is like a silent extra on a movie.
Yeah.
They're like barely there, but occasionally steal the show with its quirky gestures. But you kind of get completely lost. Like, I know they had the introduction of time travel, which you're revisiting the same regions in different eras, which is like watching a sitcom rerun. You know the plot, but the jokes hit differently every time. So
yeah, and
you
gotta
kind of take it for what
Chrono
you will.
Trigger does the same thing, but
yeah,
I mean, Chrono Trigger was also a game from a bygone era, and the story in Chrono Trigger is its own thing. This is just inspired by it. It's not Chrono Trigger.
Very true. I think, one thing to celebrate about this game, which I definitely feel like it gives a run for its money for the likes of massive franchises like Diablo and Path of Exile. And the reason we're mentioning both of those two franchises is because everybody wants to be at that next level of action RPG, and they should be celebrated for what they are. And that's what makes games like this come to reality. And I think a lot of action RPGs are going to be following the same steps to this game when it comes to the skill tree, because that can really make or break an RPG experience.
Oh, yeah.
And it's almost like the Picasso of customization. It's all about crafting your character brushstroke by brushstroke, and this game really excels at that. If you really are into that ARPG.
There is one thing to differentiate when you talk about the skill trees, though, because, while Diablo's skill trees, not very impactful, it's basically like, oh, you do a little bit more damage here, you do a little bit more crit chance here. Whereas the skill trees in this game, it's like, oh, let's actually modify your skills and abilities meaningfully. But then you compare it to like Path of Exile skill tree, and if you've never seen that, go look it up, because it's wild. Like, that skill tree makes you feel like you need to go and get an actual degree in that game to understand it.
Yeah, it's like what
so
people
expansive.
It's like what
this one is not like that, though.
Yeah, it's like when people complain about, like, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, or, like having to, I got to do this objective to this to be able to get this kind of percolation on top of my gun rig. It just gets so out of control. But yeah, I think this game is definitely worth the purchase. It does feel like a repeat, because you're going to want to test out the different characters that are offered within the game. I am someone that does harper on the fact that I do wish there was a stronger story, but now that there's a bit more support towards this franchise, hopefully the developers take that to note, because I think that was a good majority of some of the negative backlash going. I wanted to be fully immersed in the overall fantasy experience, but that kind of left me when a lot of these characters are not memorable at the end of your your end game.
Yeah, and there are going to be future updates as well. It is a live service game after all.
Yeah.
And so it is going to have that benefit
Which
of
those are the
having
things that
updates.
kind of get plagued, right?
Yeah, but I'd say that this is probably going to be one of those live service games that actually sticks around and doesn't try to be manipulative to its player base. I mean, they even said for the DLC updates, expansions, whatever it is that they're going to come out with, they're not going to charge more than what they charge for the base game. There's microtransactions that'll pay for all that,
right.
Otherwise, but like they're not going to charge you another $60. I mean, the game isn't $60, but then they're not going to charge you another $30 for an expansion on top of the game, which that's a win in my book, considering how bad we've seen some of these companies try to get money out of their player base.
Yeah.
Diablo being probably one of the biggest examples, honly.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's refreshing to see, and honestly,
well, it's kind of a bummer now that you're mentioning that. I'm like, it's starting to like come to my understanding more and more recently that a lot of the RPG have fully embraced the live service route, and you kind of just wish it would just kind of be its own thing. But then again, a lot of money involved, and there's a whole, it's like I was joking with my buddies the other day. We were in an Instagram chat together, and we were talking about, CDs and, and vinyl, and I was being made fun of CD-ROMs, and they're like, dog, you really just said it in its full vernacular, CD-ROM? Who the hell says that?
Yeah.
My car
Who says
doesn't
it
even
like
have
that?
a CD. And he's like, my car doesn't even have a CD. And I'm like, I know, just like how your video game console won't have a CD-ROM soon, It's just amazing how fast, electronics can be just so obsolete within, 3 to 5 years. It's just amazing how fast things are moving.
Absolutely.
But we haven't heard from you, though, HenricK. What's going on? What's the verdict?
Yeah, this is a repeat for me as well. I love Diablo 2 style of game, and really this game is a passion project through and through. The story of how this company 11th Hour Games came to fruition is wild. So basically the guy who's the CEO right now for the company, he's a big fan of Diablo 2, and he really, really likes this genre. And then one day he was like, you know what? I'm going to go on Reddit and I'm going to try and see if I can find anyone who can help me do a passion project. And he made a couple posts, got a few people on board, and he's been, working on this game as the CEO of the company since. And I love to see that. I love to see a fan say, you know what? I think I can do it better. And they are doing it better.
Hey, well, there might be a new hub for that, and we're going to be talking about that later in today's show. Discord offering the opportunity to build upon games in their own platform. So, hey, you never know. Started off in a Reddit thread, now eventually being turned into something new. Amazing stories like that are super, super cool.
What's the Shia LaBeouf thing? Don't let your dreams be dreams. Do it.
You know what? What an awesome way to end this segment. So true, Shia LaBeouf. Gotta love it. But hey, listen, Chris Collins and HenricK, we got a lot more cooking up here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, so stick around because it's going to be a great show, fam. Woo! What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. The 2024 World Video Game Hall of Fame nominees include classics like Myst, Resident Evil, and Neopets, proving that in the gaming world, even virtual pets and terrifying zombies can stand side by side, waiting for their turn in the spotlight. But let's go ahead and check out the list of all the nominees that have been garnished for this amazing opportunity.
There's some really interesting nominees on this list, actually, considering like they put Metroid, but Metroid's kind of been like the black sheep of Nintendo's three big titles for the longest time.
But you could make the I don't mean to cut you off, but you could make the
good.
argument that it's always like a game that's like, we want it back, and then it makes a new
true.
adaptation,
Yeah.
and then it gets slammed, and then it gets a new adaptation, and then it gets slammed. Like, so
Yeah.
it's a beloved character. But go on, Henrik.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, between, you know, Legend of Zelda, Metroid, and the Mario games, Legend of Zelda and Mario have always gotten the attention. Metroid's always been like, you know what, maybe we'll come back to it someday.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. You know, just to even kind of highlight again, with an image here with the nominees that are highlighted amongst the World Video Game Hall of Fame for the year 2024. I'm looking at this and I see two that really stand out to me that really deserve its limelight. Asteroids for sure. That's just a classic game that kind of set the standards. You know, for a lot of, you know, old school PC gamers that broken computers. I know, Dad, I'm sorry. I probably busted your computer like 3 or 4 times downloading illegal hardware. But, you know, everybody at least had this one game running either on the web or as a downloadable game. The next one for sure, the PS1. Of the Tony Hawk Pro Skater. Matter of fact, I would even argue and say it was just as good on the Nintendo 64. And then for the third, but I think I have a problem of why it's this one that's being highlighted compared to the one in the trilogy, and that is Guitar Hero. If we're talking the Guitar Hero 1, I have a problem with it. I think what would have been better replacement, Henrik, would have been Guitar Hero 3. Do you know where I'm going with this when I'm saying Guitar Hero 3?
I mean, it was the selection of songs, most likely, right?
It was the selection of songs, which were very legendary, but matter of fact, it was the very first video game to reach the mark of 1 billion in sales. $1 billion in sales, and so I feel like it should have been Guitar Hero 3 instead of the very first one. But then again, you see Resident Evil up there, and at first when I saw it, before I started seeing the video collage, I was thinking, oh man, you know, Resident Evil, yeah, that's a good selection. I mean, you go to Dave & Buster's and they're turning them into, you know, the VR interaction with the, you know, the gun shooting controllers, you know, so you're thinking like, of course that needs to be celebrated. But the first one, I don't know. But Henrik, let me give you the floor because I pretty much laid out the lay of the land, but I want to know, is there any like top 3 games on that list that really kind of stuck out to you?
For me, it would probably be, I do love Metroid. Earlier I wasn't bashing them. I was just surprised it was on the list. Yeah. I do love Metroid. I have a great experience in my childhood playing that game and getting lost and not knowing what the heck to do next.
Yeah,
and
very
outside
true.
of that, I mean, Resident Evil definitely has a good place in my childhood too, because it's a great way for old childhood me to get into horror games.
Maybe that's something I needed to do a little bit more research when it came to like settling upon, my judgment. I don't know if they're just trying to celebrate the overall IP, and if that's the case, then that's a whole other separate conversation. But when I'm looking at strictly at the game that they've chosen, that we saw in the pictures, that's where I'm basing my
it does
judgment.
look like it's just the game that they're talking about, like the first Resident Evil, just the first Guitar Hero.
See that, and that's why I have a hard time bringing it to that limelight, and so that's why it makes me push out Guitar Hero. And then if I was going to do the third, I would say Neopets.
Okay.
Neopets was like, oh my gosh, do you remember how much that just like gravitated all throughout the elementary school years? And they're also
people
talking
still talk about them.
Right, and there's even talks about a potential revival of that, that series. And, I don't know if it's going to have that same nostalgia as it did, back in the, the 90s. But, to see that it's coming around, I mean, I guess look out, Pokemon. Look out, Yu-Gi-Oh! Where's Digimon? But, very, very cool stuff. But you, the gamers, let us know what you're vibing with. Fans can now vote to determine this year's inductees, and the voting period is happening right now until March 21st. So get your vote on, and we'll see what happens, because the inductees will be announced during a ceremony on May 9th. All right, Henrik.
Where's the edit with Uncle Sam?
Yeah, you ain't lying. Man, go ahead, Henrik the Wreck. What's cooking up, fam?
Well, gamers online have been cooking up some spicy takes on video games. So let's grab our oven mitts and see what they're sizzling with, or if they're just burning.
Yeah, man, because we always love a good debate here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, and this was the original post that set everything into disarray. What gaming opinion has you like this? Can you think of one on the top of your head, or should we just go straight to the fan comments?
Let's go to the fan comments first, because I know we have some stuff to say about them.
Yeah, good call. First one we got here is The Last of Us is utter crap, and I don't understand why people can't see that. Man, that
is a hot take.
That I completely disagree with that take. This is one of the games that I can play over and over and over again. I love that survival mechanic. It's like the Resident Evil-esque, where you're limited on your ammo and your hardware, and the hand-to-hand, combat style. How could you hate this game?
I think a lot of people look at this, the first Last of Us, from the perspective of now, where we've had Last of Us Part 2 and the remakes and remasters and re-releases of all the games. I think people are just kind of like tired sometimes of
over
The Last
it.
of Us.
Abby's got a really good iron swing. Get over it. Golly. The next comment we got here is, the Sony Spider-Man game is boring. Which one? Are we talking the whole franchise or all of them?
They didn't specify, but
I'm seeing Spider-Man 2 image clip right here.
It does, yeah. They did pull up the Spider-Man 2 image. I will say the game is not bad, but they didn't innovate as much as maybe some people wanted.
That's true. And, you start to see some of the highlights that were occurring this week. I know there was viral clips going before the show with the new game, The Rise of Hydra, with Captain America and Black Panther 1943.
It looks pretty awesome, actually.
Really freaking awesome. And then you look at the graphics of that for what's to come, and then you look at Spider-Man 2, and I know this says the boring side, but I'm just saying, like, graphics can immerse you even more into the experience. And so it's going to be legendary what could potentially come even for the Spider-Man world. But my thing is, it's just they're always so short, and I feel like a lot of the storytelling around these games with Insomniac are always designed for a DLC. Why? Like the first one had a DLC.
Money.
Money.
They know they're going to make money on it.
That's true. Money. Let's get it. The next one we have here is Baldur's Gate 3 didn't deserve Game of the Year and has the worst gameplay of any game release in the past 3 years. The worst gameplay.
This take again. This
This take again. Well, it seems like you clearly have a problem with this take again.
Well, I kept seeing this take all of the end of last year, basically, all the way up until I want to say even like maybe a month ago, it started to still go around, and on clearly still does go around a bit. But I don't know. I feel like the people who didn't play this game are mostly the people saying that it didn't deserve Game of the Year. You gotta give this game a chance before you can say whether it's good or not. And if you don't have any experience playing the game, then why are you saying any opinion?
Yeah, it's a turn-paced RPG game, and yes, maybe the gameplay style doesn't fit or cater to everyone, but it's got over 100+ hours of storytelling, and each experience is different from every new beginning that you create with a new character. So this is highly celebrated, in my opinion. Absolutely shameful comment. Don't like it. Next one we got here is games in series taking 10+ years to release is absolutely ridiculous. And if they carry on doing it with AAA titles, companies will die. And then they use the Rockstar image, and that's clearly the only series they're talking about because they're the only ones that spend well, actually, Skull and Bones. That's a lie. But
we don't talk about that game
right.
anymore.
Wait. We're not talking about them right now.
I think that this take is a bit skewed because this same person, I guarantee it, is flip-flopping their perspective all the time. I see it everywhere. People are like, come on, release the game already. And then when the game comes out and it's not finished because you were one of the people pressuring them to release it earlier than maybe it should have. And they're like, oh man, this game sucks. Why didn't you just wait?
I think that's an excellent point. And this is not a knock. This is just to prove a point with like Rockstar Games. I was reading reports that Horizon Forbidden West, the latest adaptation, got added to the PC, and there were Steam reports out that it didn't even crack the top 40. And so you got a game like
that game
Grand
series
Theft
has
Auto.
always had also a history of releasing at a bad time. And I would
no,
say
I know,
that it honestly did release at a bad time now,
it's a
too.
really good game still, and it finally gets available on the PC. Can't crack top 40, but yet we got a comment like this that says, yo, you're going to die. A company's not going to die. They've been surviving and easily in the top 40, delaying their game 10+ years, even though I feel like it's a shameful move. Next comment we got here is 7 hours of campaign is worth $60. Ooh.
It doesn't feel good. I will say that, to finish a game and you only be 5 hours in. It's like, do I want to play this again? Is that why you kind of charge the money? Like, maybe you don't want to play it again.
Maybe I would side with this argument. Maybe, because I know this is something I've been harping about in the past with a lot of these episodes. If the comment was read, $50 for 15 hours worth of campaign, then I would be willing, because that's what Assassin's Creed Mirage ended up doing. And people seem to be okay with the new threshold price tag of $50. And they're telling you, we're not guaranteeing you a 30 to 50 hour experience like Valhalla or Odyssey. We're going to kind of keep it a little bit more tight-nipped. And the next one we got here is Elden Ring is a good game, but it didn't deserve Game of the Year award. Everybody always has a hate on the Game of the Year all the time.
For real.
Elden Ring was excellent when it came out that one specific year. I guess if you put this head-to-head with Baldur's Gate 3, who would end up winning the sword fight?
I mean, they're different genres entirely.
Yeah, but that don't even matter when it comes to the Game of the Year. You know that,
I'd say that's the full package. Game of the Year 2023, Baldur's Gate 3 probably is the better package overall.
Ooh, there we go. I know. And then they want $40 for their DLC. That's not one of the comments, but that's something I gripe about. I don't like it. And the last one we got here is of the hot take. both Hogwarts Legacy and Spider-Man 2 are so popular based on their game or their name, excuse me, not the fact that they're actually good. Both are mid at most 6 out of 7 out of 10. Who was this? IGN? Is that the
Ooh.
IGN review? 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
Now I know you have thoughts about that one, Chris.
Oh, yeah,
'cause you love that game.
Well, I definitely felt like it got completely disbanded when it was involving the Game Awards. How do you not get a single nomination? Not a single when it was the highest selling video game of 2023. Very shameful. Whether it was the main game of the year, yeah, I wouldn't go that far. I strictly believe it was Baldur's Gate 3. Rightfully deserved that win for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the game was great for what it was. It wasn't in my top picks for the year, but I know a lot of people love it. I have a coworker who's a huge Harry Potter fan, has all this sort of memorabilia from Harry Potter, and she bought that game like twice, I want to say. And I feel like a lot of people did buy it twice.
Well, I don't know if you saw that one comments from the actor or the actress that used to be in the Harry Potter series. She had a lot of clapback on us millennials. She was all like, hey, guys, if you're still looking forward to the Harry Potter series and you're still obsessed and you're getting tattoos on your body of Harry Potter stuff, time to grow up. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. Well, clearly that's not the case. Hogwarts Legacy was very much for the adults. So you know what? Screw you, lady, okay? You sound like a baby boomer. Golly. But, hey,
Let's
we
enjoy our childhoods.
Come on, can we? Just like how you do. I mean, who asked for Beetlejuice 2? Oh, wait, maybe the Gen Xers. But I'm just saying, okay? And then we get hot takes like that. Golly. But gamers reacting to the recent hot takes online are like NPCs finally breaking free from their scripted dialogue. It's a whole new level of side quest, and because of those hot takes, we have comments about those hot takes. The first one says, there's hot takes, then there is takes to piss people off and get engagement. Yeah, that's a real thing. Whoever wrote that Elden Ring one probably sucked at the game.
You know what? Could I give a heart to that comment right there?
The Baldur's Gate take is horrible, bro, and has never played a turn-based RPG. Kind of like what you were suggesting. A lot of the hate's always from people that just see it from demos and not really hands-on experience. Last of Us is one of the best games of all time. Might be I'd have to get back to everybody on like what's the best game of all time. But when it came out, it was very monumental. Like that storytelling was so good, and we all wanted a sequel. We got the sequel, whether you love it or you hate it. We got it, and we all still love the very first one.
I mean, it was literally the start of that formula of game. Like the very cinematic Sony over-the-shoulder game style. And I mean, the game style had been done before, but that was like when it reached the peak of popularity.
Absolutely. People saying Spider-Man is boring is shocking to me. It's literally a story game filled with nothing but action and fun gameplay, and it's extremely replayable. It's extremely replayable because it's a very fast game. And the story is really good, don't get me wrong, but the side quests do need a lot of work. The side quest stories are very, very boring, very pointless, and then that's when other people start to bring in, all the social issues with the side quest. Oh my God! And we're not going to go there right now.
Whatever shall we do?
Exactly. We're not going to go there right now, but that's what sometimes lacks for lame storytelling. Grand Theft Auto 6 gone break bigger records than 5 did, and 5 is still breaking records to this day. I think that is a fair assessment. Grand Theft Auto 6 has definitely got a lot of anticipation coming, but wrong lower third right there. Got the gamers nominated. But hey, the drill. It all happens. But hey, listen, a lot of spicy hot takes. But hey, World Video Game Hall of Fames. But maybe some of these hot takes could be laminated one day in the Video Game Hall of Fame.
Maybe. I mean, that last comment for sure. I guarantee when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out,
we'll be re-looking at that.
It's gonna break records for sure, because there's so much hype around that game, and we don't even know what it entirely looks like yet.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true. And I know even Bloomberg actually had a report back on, some weird leaked rumor, gossip that he claimed that the game was going to come out in 2025 early. I guess that's not the case. So we don't even know a release date still. So, hey, so much more anticipation to come. But, hey, do you feel like this is a good time? Yeah, go
let
ahead,
us know,
Henry.
Chris, what's going on with Game Developers Conference in San Fran?
Yeah, let's get it, because there's been a lot of excitement, but we're going to be definitely highlighting, more importantly, the video game aspect of what has been happening this week. So let's break it down. At this year's Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, Assassin's Creed maker Ubisoft unveiled what it's calling Neo NPCs, a prototype for player-facing generative AI that essentially makes it so you can literally speak with your voice to NPCs in a video game. And this was highlighted behind private closed sessions. So as much as we have at this moment are photos of these interactive experiences, as you can clearly see with the first image. There's a gal that has a nickname named Iron. I'm assuming she's got to hide from her government name. And all right, let's move on to the second step. We'll need to deal with the guard in the library. I was considering knocking him out, but maybe you have another idea. And then there was more examples of another gentleman that you can literally hold playing with an Xbox controller, hold your LT button, and that's how you open up your microphone, and you can literally have a conversation with Bloom. And another little, because everybody wants to see his gorgeous face. It's starting to get a little spooky, some of this,
a little uncanny.
On a level. And so I guess the real question that's being asked is, because Neo NPCs are built using tech from Nvidia and in-world AI, allowing Ubisoft to craft a narrative experience with AI running under the hood. And so clearly when people hear Neo NPCs and AI, for a matter of fact, people start to freak out. And so we have comments surrounding initial reactions. So the first one we got here is, so your games will be even more soulless. I thought that's impossible.
I mean, they're trying to get you more immersed in one way, and the way is you have to actually think of what you're going to say rather than just pick from some dialogue options.
Do you feel soulless when you use Siri for help?
I mean, the way you ask Siri for help is very, thought through. Like, oh, I have this question. I'm just going to ask a question. I'm not going to have a full-on conversation like I would with a person.
You sure you didn't have a virtual e-date scheduled at 7:00 at the Ramadan Cafe?
Oh no! How did you know?
I know, right? Don't catch your girl slipping, HenricK the Wreck. Next one we got here is, nobody wants this except obsessive tech bros. How about paying writers to do something interesting and on theme?
That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, like I was just saying for the previous comment, you have to actually then think of what you want to say in these conversations rather than the developers then crafting what you're going to say and kind of lead you in the right direction,
But it almost is like writers actually have to expand their narrative, and, it's beyond just writing descriptive emotions. You got to really tell the machine or in-world AI, including Nvidia technology, to really immerse this character into having a full-on conversation with you, but also being geared so it sticks to the story plot and doesn't deviate off from what HenricK's trying to make it say naughty, crude words. No, just kidding.
I wasn't saying that. I was just saying, if you're in the middle of a game, like what you're showing there, and you're wanting to have a philosophical conversation all of a sudden,
yeah, right.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh, that can't be working out that well, especially with, remember the Google AI photos? They're like, make someone, a colonized person, and they couldn't even get, nothing right. Next comment we got here is, they aren't really talking to you. You are setting up your games to be completely devoid of characters with any type of personality. I would argue that's not entirely true. Yeah, they're not really talking to you, but devoid of characters with any type of personality, might be a stretch. You do have to design the model to be fixated towards a certain delivery with tonality and
That's
also
true.
visually, right?
Yeah.
So let's go to the next comment. This sounds terrible and bland, to be honest. Everybody's just hating on it. Maybe it's the name, Neo NPCs. Yeah, sounds a bit strange on a level. I'll give it that.
A little bit.
I'm not sure what's worse, the fact that you think that this is a good idea or the fact that you read that dialogue and decided, quote, you know what? That's good dialogue that an actual person would say. Let's use this screenshot to show people how good this game will be, end quote. And we don't really know if this was in-world AI or Nvidia selecting these certain screenshots or if they allowed the opportunity of IGN or CNET and the likes that were able to be inside of this private, closed-door session. But come on, man. Give it a break. It's only going to evolve over time. And the last comment we got here is, just have someone write a real script. This auto-generated response idea sucks. So clearly people with these Neo NPCs, for the first time, HenricK, the game world actually listens to and responds to gamers. So my question to you, HenricK, and even the gamers listening right now, the question overall stands. Have you ever dreamed of having a real conversation with an NPC in a video game?
I can't say I have exactly dreamt of that. I think it could be cool to, have a conversation with a character that you really connect with in one way or another. But I don't know if it's entirely necessary, and if it's trying to replace completely the ability for writers to actually craft an experience around a story, then maybe I'm okay with it not being in the game. It being in addition to the writing, that could be cool. I would be okay with that.
HenricK, I'm starting to think it's very necessary, and I'm going to tell you why. I need to have a sit-down conversation, get my microphones all set up, because I need to have a word with Master Chief, okay? And I'm going to sit down with Master Chief, and I'm going to ask him. I said, hey, listen, look, you've been seeing what Paramount Plus has been doing to our beloved Halo series. Do you prefer to bring back Master Cheeks? No, I'm just kidding. No. We'll ditch that question. But no. Let's be very serious about this, HenricK, because we're going to have the opportunity to speak with Master Chief now. How do you really feel? We're getting down to the conclusion with season 2. Are you vibing with this? How do we save the franchise? We're getting closer to Reach, okay? This is why this is such a beloved opportunity to speak with the Neo NPC, known as the like of Master Chief.
And he's going to say something like, we got to go back to the roots of Halo 1 through 3, because that's when the series was at its finest.
Exactly. But, revolving around the whole game developers conference, what was very intriguing is they had a survey with more than 3,000 developers conducted by the GDC, and nearly a third say they already use AI in their workplace. And you hear that, right? But get this, on top of that, 87% of the game developers surveyed by the GDC say they are at least somewhat concerned with how this tech will impact the gaming industry. And clearly, we've spoken about it numerous times here on season 4 of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, but 8,000 layoffs. And it seems like every other day, we're celebrating new tech, but I saw a comment the other day, HenricK, and it really kind of stuck with me. It was, more geared towards the conversation with Nvidia GTC, which is its own separate thing, kind of highlighting the new chip, the new robotics. They had that Disney collaboration. Anybody that hasn't seen it should go check it out on your free time. It's really, really cool. But the comment highlighted said, listen, the internet era, finished. Smartphone era, finished. AI started. So we're right in the beginning phase of just incredible development. It's moving so fast on us that even, I don't know if anybody checked out any of the Instagram stories or the TikTok stories that we just dropped. I was having some fun making some music AI, and Chris Collins and Henrik the Wreck have a rap song promoting Rage Quit, and it happened within 10 to 15 seconds. It's insane, and if you want to check that out, go do it. It's freaking amazing. But what's really...
Are you saying that Skynet is gonna happen?
You know, it's so funny that you said that because I literally had a buddy when I sent him the clip. That's the exact response that he said. Skynet's coming. What, Terminator? You guys immediately jumped to Terminator. I was making music, okay? How the hell is music killing anybody? I love how you bring up Skynet. But I think it's an incredible tech. You know, they are partnering up again with NVIDIA and in-world AI. And what's really remarkable about this is it stacks bunch of several different AI implementations. So they essentially, what it does is as you're using your microphone, it turns your voice into text. Pretty self-explanatory, just like how Siri works, you know, like I was making that joke. And then how in-world AI comes in, they are the character engine, which then determines how the NPC will act and respond in the game. And then NVIDIA on top of that has a technology called audio to face, and really that's the real-time facial animations that you see with these new Neo NPCs, and that's how it interacts with the lips and the mannerism that makes the game match with the real world experience. So very, very crazy, very, very trippy. I bet Jerry Jones would really love this, considering, you know, in the new Dallas Cowboys Stadium, you could literally talk to him face to face, know his whole entire history. It's gonna get kind of trippy. You know, I'm looking at this technology, I'm going, we're putting up statues. Are we going to be putting up VR statues at one point? You want to go have a conversation with Kobe Bean Bryant? No, that's scary. I revoke that statement. We do not want that. I mean, they had all those typos. I don't know if you heard about that. No typos in the AI world, right? Or with his voice change?
Right.
Okay, ditch that idea. But hey, you thought this whole AI stuff is very, very wonky right now. Golly, this is kind of confused a lot of people with some of the new movements that's happening in the gaming space. Break it down, HenricK. What's going down?
Oh yeah, sure. So LinkedIn, the Microsoft-owned networking giant, is diving into the gaming world with Wordle-inspired games, giving the New York Times' puzzle empire a run for its money.
Yeah, big time.
Check out sneak peek images of the 3 games coming to LinkedIn called Queens, Inference, and Cross Climb. And one of the pictures there did say Blueprint. We're thinking that's a name change for Inference. We won't know until these games are fully on the platform, but that's just our educated guess on what's going on there.
Yeah, very true. And as you see with this slideshow, you see Cross Climb, and you know, you're thinking, I thought I was supposed to be building my resume, not being distracted playing video games. Hey, Mom, you want me to find a new job? Or hey, Dad, or hey, girlfriend, hey, wife, happy wife, good life. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted. But HenricK, why on God's green virtual landscape would LinkedIn want to bring gaming to their platform? I kind of have an inclination of what they're sniffing out, but you kind of referenced it a little bit at the top of the the topic, right? You know, giving a run for its money against New York Times.
They want people to come in daily to the platform, and really it's just a matter of getting someone on your social media platform to just have them open it, and you got the rest of whatever you want to throw at them right at your fingertips, because you can throw at them ads. You can throw at them suggestions for people to network with, which keeps them on the platform longer. And really, at the end of the day, it probably does boil down to ads and selling you something like that, because if they can push ads to you just by you being on there for 20 minutes versus a couple minutes, they've already won. They've got their ad money.
That's a really, really good point. And also, I've been thinking about, you know, why was it so important for the New York Times to even acquire Wordle back in 2022? Well, they felt like it was the perfect marketing scheme to be able to, you know, maintain that retention amongst their own readers. And they felt like, you know, with the digital readers that log into NewYorkTimes.com, by providing a games like World to their platform, that is what helps bring the reader back every single day, because there always is going to be a new Wordle of the day. And I believe LinkedIn is trying to have that same kind of approach, realizing that, LinkedIn's always kind of strange. No one really knows what to post on their news feed. Everybody's always highlighting somebody else and never about themselves, or it's about business or innovative technology that maybe relates to your company. But, if I'm not in that kind of job field, then I don't really care. It's just too wordy and blocky and too tacky for me. So it's gotten a bit strange. But then, you got me kind of thinking when we were looking at these games, how like businesses, they like to get together and they like to gather all their money and they like to go all big on the Powerball and the Mega Million. I know everybody's having that craze right now because it's close to $1 billion. Could you imagine when your company asked you, HenricK, you haven't logged in and done your cross climb, the company's working together to retain their top score?
Yeah, if they start doing that, that's just going to be one more annoyance for the people who have to have a LinkedIn account.
Yeah, right.
Not only do you have to do all these tasks, but you also have to complete a game. Of all things.
Because we start putting like media outlets up against each other, tech companies, science, the healthcare, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, on a level, it's not really a game, but even when you go on LinkedIn, they have all these like skill tests. You ever notice that? Like, you ever want to put it on top of your resume and they're like, hey, you want to really prove that you have, Microsoft Word proficiency? Take this quiz and then it'll judge you. And you can put it on a level. That's kind of a game. So wouldn't surprise me that they kind of find a weird business-esque, with the gaming involved and try to, it's going to be super, super weird. But it doesn't just stop with LinkedIn. Who else is trying to bring gaming to its platform?
Well, meanwhile, Discord wants to be your one-stop shop for socializing and gaming, aiming to let third-party developers create games on its platform. Let's see what gamers have to say about the news.
Yeah, man, because the first one we got here is, please hire some developers that can figure out how to revert the mobile update. Clearly, people don't feel like games will work out for Discord if they can't figure it out on the mobile, which I that could be fair. Or they're just talking about, the communication was so much better with the old way and you're more worried about something else. I don't entirely sure what you're trying to say, Joe, but I think I understand. Also, account switcher on mobile. It's 2024. Make it happen already, please and thanks. Yeah, I guess maybe that's a good point. If you start bringing video games in and, you only have one device and, you got to share with the happy wife, good life.
Well,
and
they're just asking for features that other platforms already have,
Ooh,
you can switch your account on Twitter, for example, or I'm sorry, X.
Oh, yeah, right,
Twitter,
right.
X.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called nowadays.
You already
be called a different thing.
You already know we already getting a bunch of hate mail now because you keep calling it X. Thank you, HenricK.
Exactly.
Checkmark for working on features nobody asked for. X for working on bringing the old mobile design back that thousands of people have requested again. Gosh, clearly people have like this mobile ordeal with Discord. They're super upset that they're focusing on this. Another person wrote, I find your reach into game development disturbing. Stick to what you know, which is being a communications platform. You won't succeed and will only screw over your successful business. Weird, but makes sense. It's kind of the hub for any communication with developers. And last, I don't know. Wouldn't it be easier to just make a regular web game and post link into Discord? Maybe I'm just not seeing it. But it kind of strikes me that this comes days after the FBI decided to pair up with Discord to monitor gamers. So yes, there have been some reports that, Discord and, there's other few studios I can't think of on the top of my head, and even ones that wanted to remain not named. And yes, the FBI in this country has, along with the European Union, have been wanting to crack down on extremists. And yes, we understand that, there are a few bad apples that do ruin a gaming lobby experience. But is that really why Discord's getting into bringing video games to its platform? very
Probably not.
far stretched. Very far stretched. Yes,
That's
there have been
conspiracy theory level right there.
very put the tinfoil hat on. There have been a lot of platforms like Meta, for example, have found zero success, trying to create a gaming hub. You can also think of YouTube Gaming that was once trying to be that, didn't quite necessarily bring the game to the foyer because they pretty much disabandoned that whole department after all. But, listen, as we joked, what's a CD-ROM? What's a vinyl? What's a video game disc? What's that line? Do I dust it? Do I put a brush in there? Like, I have my game inside of the cloud, and since we're kind of moving towards that route, I can kind of see why they want to be the one-stop shop for socializing and gaming.
So this seems like a good idea to you. Like you're down with this. You would like this to happen.
Well, I think that Discord kind of understands that as we start to transition away from the console, someone's gonna need to kind of be in the limelight to bring everybody together with communications. And I feel like Discord's trying to leverage themselves in a business opportunity to be able to go, hey, listen, we got gamers on Amazon Luna. We got gamers that might want to be a part of Apple's gaming, Epic Game Store, right? The list goes on and on. How do we get all these people together? Because what have we all been bitching about for the last 10 to 20 years? Where's my crossplay enablation? Like, that's not even a word. I'm over here like saying super fragilistic expialidocious over here. But you get the point, okay? Like, the crossplay is a major thing that people always want in video games, just like how we want cross chat. And I think Discord wants to be in the leverage for that, so then they can negotiate deals and go, hey, listen, we already have a mass, audience, a mass amount of gamers already amongst our own hub, and we already are viewed as the communication hub. Why not work around with this? I mean, remember Xbox and Microsoft, they worked to finally bring Discord to their platform. So you kind of put 2 to 2 together. I know it's not on Nintendo, but that's kind of where I'm going with it. Whether it's a good, I don't know. Is there really a bad to it? Where's the bad? I don't know.
It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I feel like this is just for LinkedIn and Discord, it's kind of like, I don't know, it feels contrived in a way for them to be, oh yeah, we're gonna put games on our platform. There's one more thing for you to be able to do. Okay, but did anyone ask for this? Like, why are you doing that in the first place? It raises a bunch of questions for people, and I guess that is the point. They want people talking about it, but it just didn't come naturally. It wasn't like, oh, we want games on this platform, so let's make games on this platform happen. Like I'm saying, as the community saying to the developers, do this, please.
Yeah. And that's why you get the tinfoil hats on, and that's why people start to go, wow, listen, they linked up with the FBI, and why, they wanted to talk to the studio developers and stuff like that, but why Discord? Come on, man, it's super simple. They want to figure out who's saying the loonies crap. It's a communication hub. That's why Discord's evolved. So you're always going to have all these kind of crazy conspiracy theories, but hey, it's really up to you, the gamers, to either embrace Discord on this journey of being the social hub for gamers, and whether that is going to be the way to go. I mean, we've seen Vine go, there's been a lot of different platforms over the years, like Mastodon. What's Mastodon? Are we still on Mastodon? I'm even trying to think
and before Discord, there was even other things, like I remember having to use Ventrilo to communicate with people online.
What's AOL? So, we evolve over time, but I think Discord's trying to be the overall hub again, to try to be, hey, let's always keep ourselves with gaming, and let's be at the forefront for that change. But hey, if you guys got an awesome take that you believe why LinkedIn or either Discord wants to get involved in the gaming sector, let us know what's good. What is it that HenricK the Wreck and Chris Collins are not thinking about? But man, this has been an electrifying show. We've been having such a blast. Throughout this week, I know I'm going to be continuing to be watching everything that's surrounding the Game Developers Conference and Navita GTC. It's going to be a blast. But also,
we want cool stuff actually comes out of it every year.
Yes, always. And you know, and I get a lot of people that always say, I'm not into tech. I'm not into this kind of stuff. I feel like it's a little geeky jargon stuff. It's really not, fam. You know, they got a lot of amazing people
break it down.
They break it down really, really easy for the layman. So come on, fam. Have some fun with it. But I definitely want to let you guys know, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I always got a lot of amazing content cooking up, along with your homeboy, HenricK.
Yeah, go look at that channel, because there's plenty of stuff for you to go look at already, and you'll be able to then see what I'm also cooking up for the future.
Big time. And don't forget to hit the notification bell on both HenricK and Chris Collins Show, because you will always be notified directly from your PC or either your mobile device. And HenricK, I know you got something cooking up tonight.
Yes, it's time to spread democracy. I'm going to be playing Helldivers 2 on stream around 8 p.m. So stay tuned for that on my Twitch account at HenricK.
That's right. Help save the world of the super Earth. You know, we need you, HenricK. We are proud of you.
We gotta liberate some more planets. We got a major order right now, okay? We gotta go do that.
Just make sure you have a cup of liberty ready.
Exactly.
Yeah, we gotta love it, fam. We love you guys a lot. Make sure to always tune in every Wednesday night at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Prime time, baby. And we will see you next week, fam. Peace.